Good evening. Tonight I'm going to show you how I unload my truck camper and the steps I take to prepare for it. First thing I do after I've got it parked is remove my fast gun locks and my fast guns. Put the lock back on so I don't misplace the locks. And I have all of my fast guns marked as far as which position they go in. That way I typically don't have to adjust them when I reinstall them. Over on this side I also disconnect my truck to camper pigtail. And the best place to store it is right there on the jack. So what I also do is swing out my dually swing out brackets. This tie down, I don't have a lock on it because the tie down interferes with access to the fuel door, so I don't put a lock on it. That way I can get fast access when I need to fuel and don't have to fumble with an extra set of keys. And on my dually swing out brackets, there's a spring-loaded shaft with an acorn nut on the bottom of it. Push that up and then the jacks will swivel out. And moving around to the back, there's a couple more steps that I need to do here. So what I've accomplished so far is I've pulled off my steps. The only main reason for doing that is so that I can get around the back side of the camper a little bit easier. And next thing I need to do, for the same reason, just so it's easier to get in and out back here, is take off my trailer hitch. And my torque lift super truss extension has a wiring extension on it. I'll disconnect that. I have a little clip here that holds it to the bumper. Okay, it's time to work out a different arrangement for that. And just wrap that up here. And I also need to disconnect my backup camera connector from underneath the bumper on the truck. This is the factory backup camera that I removed from the tailgate handle, and the wire on it was long enough to come out here, and there's a disconnect fitting back there behind the bumper that's in place for the purpose of removing your tailgate. I've got my camera cable disconnected, so the next step I'll do is I've opened up my plumbing access compartment. This access door may be in a different location on your camper. Mine is on the back. I'll turn on my remote switch for my jacks and do one quick last walk around before I pull the truck out. That wire pigtail, I'll move that, but that jack is good. I've got it swung out. This jack is good. All four tie downs are off. Same over here, both of these tie downs are off, so we are ready to start lowering the jacks. Once my jacks get close to the ground, I'll go ahead and do a walk around and look at all four. My truck sits high in the back, even with the camper on, so my front jacks always have a tendency to contact the ground first. So instead of doing all four at once, when I get this close to the ground, I'll go ahead and do one at a time. Bring them down until they just barely touch the ground. Okay, all four in contact with the ground. And do a quick visual underneath and everything, and never hurts to double check and triple check things before you raise the camper. Every once in a while you hear a sound like something's popping. It's actually the bed mat. It's stuck to the bottom of the camper in various places, and that noise you hear is the bed mat dropping off the base of the camper and making contact with the truck bed. I have a tendency to want to bring this camper up quite a ways when I load it or unload it, so that the highest portion just beyond the bed rail doesn't contact the sheet metal right back here behind the tail light. So I get the camper up high enough so that portion of the box on the camper is above the portion of the sheet metal on the bed behind the tailgate. Once I get this up, I can show you a little bit better. So this is the other thing that I need to disconnect. It's a 4-gauge connector that comes straight off the truck charging system. Quick disconnect connector here, and then it goes up into the base of the camper where the propane line goes up through. Here's a quick visual, not a very good angle, but you can see where this portion of the truck camper, it goes down probably about 8 inches or so. So I want to get this portion up above the box back there right behind the tail light. Now that I've done another walk around and checked everything again, I'm ready to pull the truck out. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of clearance between this jack and this fender. So when I'm pulling out, I always watch both mirrors. So this is the portion that I want higher than where it's going to hit the sheet metal back inside of the truck bed. I want this flat surface and this above this right there, that little curved area. Now that my truck's out, I am ready to lower the camper. I always watch my jack carefully when I'm lowering them. One of them tends to go just a little bit faster than the other, and if I remember right, it's the left rear jack that goes faster when I'm dropping the camper down. We are good to go. It's down as far as it needs to go. Earlier on in this, you may have seen me standing at the back corner. Every once in a while I'd stop and I would kick the left rear jack. That's how I can tell when it's released its tension, is if the jack wiggles a little bit, that means its foot is up off the ground. So when I stop and kick it and see if that foot is up off the ground, then I hit the manual control button for just that one jack to bring the foot back onto the ground or the floor, and then I continue, and I think I did stop about 5 or 6 times. There's a big stack of lumber over there. That's what I support the camper on when I leave it off the truck for an extended period of time. Next thing I need to do then on the truck is remove my super truss extension, and then change my Rancho 9000 shocks to a softer setting, and then also disengage my torque lift stable loads on the truck suspension. If I don't do those 2 items, the truck rides really stiff in the rear. Here's the steps to remove torque lift super truss extension. On these turnbuckles here, there's lock nuts on each end. These 2 are threaded such that both of the nuts turn the same way to tighten or lock the lock up against the turnbuckle. I put the handle of a wrench inside as my point of leverage. So in this case, on this side, both of these turn away or that way to loosen. And then on the other side, same thing. And to loosen that turnbuckle, I put the handle of one of the wrenches in here. And reinstall that pin so we don't lose it. And while I'm over here, I'll pull my first hitch pin out. I've already unplugged my trailer pigtail extension, and next thing I'll do is unlock that and then pull the extension out. And there's a little bit of tension on that hitch pin, so just lift this up, move it around a little bit, and then it comes out. And when you reinstall the extension, these 2 hitch tubes have a tendency to slide back and forth inside of this clamp just a little bit. I believe it's the lower one. There you can see I just moved it. So it takes a little bit of alignment to get everything matched up and get your 2 hitch pins installed. And then I'll go ahead and reinstall my hitch. There's one more step. It's not absolutely necessary, but I always pull these out anyway. The next step is to disengage my torque lift stable loads. These are the second version, which are a quick disconnect style. So pull this little keeper pin clip out, and my pin that holds everything in place is out of alignment just a little bit. So I need to twist this some, get that straight, then my pin comes out, and switch my ratchet the other way. And there we go. And then drop that into the other hole and switch my ratchet back the other way again, and then twist it just a little bit until the pin drops into place. And then I reinstall my clip. And then we're done. And repeat that step 3 more times and you're good to go.